Hello, America, and the three branches of government. There are only three branches of government. You are recorded, each member of you guys. How maintain victim predators. Where and how we are a value/value progression. Forgive me. This is hundreds of nations, A1 through Z, all the nations named Z. And increasingly, that's the only thing that's self-value, our styles of this. Time treatment's always too fast, too slow to get over on people trying to use the short words, needing to use the short words and the long words of our species. The reasons that this is justified, the perfect world tactically forsaken, self-valued, are per a breaching method that propagated fact-cheaping nature styles from a base of ulterior but bonded natures of organized crime. Way worse than that, but just simple fact-cheaping nature, like discerning how slavery is identity theft, identity fraud, just focusing on that subject for time. But the way we have to do it, to be in a positive value nature progression per science, with free speech and science, actually true, not denying exceptions, exception nature, not valuing it denied. So we need equality. We need to understand every day in America the difference between criminal and ceaseless nature as an identity of title, job, person, A1 through Z, however many people named Z there are. In this identity of negative value nature progression, where it is recorded, confessed, demonstrated, whatever brings forth, it is what is self-valued are those things where everyone are victims at the same time, need to blame on other things other than themselves, and need to value that. This is since before I was born, before anyone was born. Intercampuses of each age and nature, intersciences, all victims of the same thing, all locations, and then further this, and further inter-database relationships from off them. Now what's involved with that, which is everyone originally still, as styles needing to pretend that's debatable by leaving out the evidences that are actually recorded. Whole crime methods of every modern nation's locations, areas, states, interbranch. Intercities, worse than interstates, worse than just internations. Per an archetypal organized crime method. This most probably, demonstrably, per science, actually true, what the modern religions are about. See, but we have appreciation of them and of positive, the science of positive and negative, and of identity, forced only valued out of sequence. All exceptions, exception nature, in collusion with that. So we have strangers, we have, for example, all investigations, investigators, and vetting identities, including opinions of people. The sequence shifts self-valued or simultaneously criminally foreign influenced hundreds of nations at once, shared policing here and there of identity, the ground locations, where they have shared training of that too, on and off campuses, of each age and nature, collusion, with all that is manifest from that originally instilled, having been not just propagated and employed meaning metaphorically too, fact-cheaping nature styles, the perfect world forsaken. It's all right if people want to have agree to forsake their rights and give up, the quality of distinction, of the finite truth, the value of the conjunction between the finite, active, and progressive. So then we're going to have to have things like wars, where the same side has the whole time blaming the real causes of since before cars, the pathology tactically denatured in suburbs, to cause negative value nature progressions, acts and natures that no one would realize the causes of, were specifically to have reactions of them needed, with no one capable of having the proper reactions, so then taken to defenses, invested, employed, influenced, maintained, abridged sciences. So what is manifest now, which is being reported on C-SPAN, on CNN, Fox News regarding, I didn't see it reported on Fox News, but obviously also, regarding the interbranch, the three branches of government, regarding their opinions, treatments of the Republic, all words / value like law, as criminal and seditious nature, having been exploited. So now this is also how they have school resource officers and programs with Washington, D.C. and World Trade Center, for example, with hundreds of nations shared, again, with that conversation with the on-off campus of each age and interconjunctions. So where there are apparently nothing to do with the foreign and domestic, here and there is that which is worse than just internations, and already had and has all identities of experts and of countering experts, because they're in the same trap again that leads up to things even like wars and nuclear weapons, rather than using technology for evolution science, which uses ground, which uses what's going to reveal evolution's fruits and gifts out of nowhere, which uses the science of positive, what is positive to 3/5 identities of positive, bonded by the complete identity of it, which is increasingly more and more, and can make more and more of itself here, only as the value of what is simultaneously everything at once. And when I can't do that here anymore, and be also temporary positive that is lasting positive, forever nature as its own, it is forced from here, lethal hadiths. So, and the continuation of the perfect identity of value progression / value progression that identities are. This heaven and hell were revealed as ancient terms. God is a term needed by what we call algebraic consciousness / our consciousness algebraic, as three bonded identities of volume, as value, as nature / nature as value. For example, as the identity of the body of forever, as its identity of relationship to itself, and as the value of that, at least. So when, in theory, it is not, when we play forward awareness of the database involved, semi-ancient, since before modern messengers, already criminally influenced database relationships, identity the ground, fact treatment nature styles, in relationship to nature's identity. Nature's nature. If it's sub-natures, like for example the cell nucleus, the cell body, cell wall. You don't have to be, I'm not a doctor, this demonstrates there's a trinity manifest before the physical, they manifest. But as its value progression system, that is completely the value as nature / nature as value of what is physically manifest, like the cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall. Those three distinct identities are simultaneously non-distinct and simultaneously are your identity. And that simultaneously is a semi-nature relationship to what can only have us be its identity as the value of that which is simultaneously the value of all groups, and of the species identity of volume. This is the identity that the Constitution's surface values are simultaneously valued. And so with sequence true. Sequence slash simultaneous nature. So we'll examine the proofs of this. This is why this picture of Jesus Christ on Yale's website, Yale University, Jesus Christ has A on the left side of his head and W on the right side. I'm not just saying that because I'm not saying that because my name is Anthony Wall. I'm saying that because Alpha Wall. Wall is the body of our value. So we go back to the cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall. The cell walls are shared. And where the three are shared together close, there are manifest differences in the integrity and of the appearance of the chloroplast. That is the cell wall. Distinctly from the chloroplast, that is the cell body. Distinctly from the chloroplast, that is manifest as the cell nucleus. See, this trinity is manifest and then it's shared. They have that shared identity. Two more identities of sequence slash simultaneous nature, inseparable from each individual identity of value slash value progression. This is the volume slash S that is distinctly, non-distinctly, simultaneously before ground, while being ground's value. And while being it increasingly has another identity of volume that is semi/full, where it's only going to stay increasing. One identity of volume, its identity of relationship to itself. Each identity of volume has, as earth is, as water is, there are distinct identities of volume, as the gases within the wind are. Distinct identities of volume, distinct identities of relationship to themselves, and to this identity that all things are a relationship to at once. Not just reality, space slash existence, including the slash, those are three semi-natures bonded, just like the cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall. Just like three identities of the number zero are manifest. I tell it best. Boxing and demonstration of it. YouTube.com/user/Romulus Wall, Anthony Wall. Thank you.